So we're here at Dark Delicacies in Burbank, California, with the infamous Robert Englund and Mike Johnson. Aaron J.
We had to get Aaron out of the stacks of books here. He was drooling for research.
Absolutely.
Our writer was...
We're here to promote our web series Fear Clinic that's coming out on fearnet.com on October 26th. And we just wanted to reach out to everybody and let them know what was coming.
So, Robert, tell me what is your favorite phobia?
Well, my favorite phobia to exploit, I think would be the one that's probably my actual phobia, which might be snakes. You know, there's something really Freudian and sexual about snakes, which is kind of creepy. I think a lot of people have that phobia in common. I've had it since my childhood. I went to a kiddie matinee, and halfway, there was a double feature. And the second film was a war movie based on a novel by Norman Mailer called The Naked and the Dead. And in the middle of this war movie, which I could handle, even though it was adult fare, some GI in the South Pacific got bit by some tropical snake and went through these horrible death throes.
Wow.
And it sort of scarred me for that entire summer. And it's remained with me.
Aaron will have to remember.
Yeah, and in my book coming out,
Sure.
that I have coming out, which is Hollywood Monster, I actually talk about that experience. But in our show, I think it would be real interesting if we had a patient, a nubile young teenage girl that was particularly frightened of the reptile from the Garden of Eden, and I had to put her into my my fear chamber, to exorcise that phobia from her.
Well, Aaron has many other phobia ideas, but that's definitely one for the future. It sounds like a
I figure if we run out of them, I figure if we run out of phobias that are legitimate, we can make them up.
Absolutely.
There could be fear, like maybe there is such a thing as fear of blindness.
Right.
But even if there isn't, there is. But we can go, there's all these little tiny, ones that are like little strange peccadillos, like OCDs.
Right.
There's some really amazing OCDs that we could exploit.
Absolutely. Well, on Facebook.com right now, people can blog in and talk about their phobias and what they're afraid of, and some are real, some are imagined. So we're already doing that. We're interfacing, so I think that's a great idea.
We should
we're
stockpile
building
the good ones.
Building
Aaron.
the inventory for the future.
Yeah.
So,
Great things Aaron has done is that some of the phobias are ones that you can kind of guess probably. I mean, there's some pretty obvious photos. Everybody's afraid of heights and things like that. But what Aaron's done that's so great is one of the great surprises is what caused that phobia. What is the source of that phobia? And you may think you know it, but there's things that you discover in the day room of our clinic, of my clinic, and my little border town hospital. You discover things, or there's people that aren't really real. You realize that one of my patients maybe, while you think the scene is a normal scene, is actually hallucinating somebody at another table or something. And that person will fit into his hallucinations or into the backstory that reveals the source of his particular or her particular phobia. Right. And it's really kind of surreal, interesting the way that works. And that's when I originally read the script, that's what attracted me to it, because Aaron would say something like, and I'm not giving anything away here, but there'd be a female patient at another table, and a bunch of our young, attractive, rich teenagers who had come to my clinic, because it was their sort of last chance to cure themselves of their fears. You would just think that was another patient over there, and then like an hour later you realize that that's actually that lady isn't a patient.
No.
She's just in the imagination of one of the people sitting at the table, and
exactly.
so I love that kind of stuff, and so you're a little confused sometimes actually, and that you have to kind of maybe tune in for a webisode or two for that to kind of finally play out.
Exactly.
Right.
That's one of the interesting things, without giving anything away, that Aaron has done, is he tricks the viewer into thinking, are they imagining that, or is it really happening?
Yeah.
Are we in the fear chamber? Are we not? And we're going to keep you guessing, and it's pretty exciting.
And it's a great gimmick, because that's what Wes Craven did back on my nightmare films, is you never quite knew when the dream was beginning. you know, or when it had ended.
I love that.
Right.
And you can play with the audience with music. You can fool them with music. You can leave it quiet and they don't really know. You can suggest it with just a prop. You don't have to get all crazy and fancy with the camera angles or special effects. And we do that with the phobias as they grow and manifest on our various patients.
Absolutely. It's like you can be hurt in your dreams, kind of like the nightmare thing what we're carrying with Fear Clinic, and it's really intriguing. It's very, a lot of people can relate to
We
it.
also have, you know, and I think we're allowed to talk about this. You know, I went to the first read around out at our director's great makeup effects studio, Almost Human,
Almost Human,
yeah.
in the
Yeah,
Hollywood
Robert
Hills,
Hall.
in the East Hollywood Hills
Very
here. And it's,
talented guy.
I mean, we should be shooting this there. It's
Absolutely.
even better than this background, which is a
They're-
terrific background, you know.
They're at the
Oh,
Reaper
yeah.
Awards
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
And
Here we are.
gosh, what was I going to say now? We were talking
Talk about Almost Human, the workshop, and interviewing there.
Oh,
For the read-
and for the read around and the cast
Yeah.
of young people that we've assembled.
That's wonderful.
Is just extraordinary, but I kill half of them, or I don't kill them, but the clinic kills half of them. So it's like I turned to Mark and I said, "My God, next time, you know, we got to save a couple. You know, let's give our heroine Danielle Harris, you know, a boyfriend that lasts a little longer, you know, or let's have somebody that you know that survives."
Right.
The
Yeah.
chamber, you know, because we assembled such the relationship between two people. And the other thing is, and I'm telling you, we have raised the bar for production value, camera, special effects,
I
and
agree.
casting
Absolutely.
on the internet. Just like when I did
Absolutely.
VBAC in the 80s and we brought special effects artists like John Dykstra from Star Wars to television. Because before V, you know, you watch science fiction and it was, you know, some gal in green makeup and an afro chasing William
Exactly.
Shatner around, you know.
Well,
And
so
we
much-
brought CGI
Yeah.
to
So much is
television.
going to the internet with Comcast possibly taking over NBC. We're very excited about that opportunity. And for us, and with people tuning in with Hulu
Yes.
and Crackle
Yeah.
Digital Networks and Sony putting more on the internet, this is a great vehicle for material, and we're very excited about the exposure. 25 million households and Comcast families can check out our show.
Yeah, you know, you go to Crackle
It's
for
all a
laughs,
good thing.
you come to us for scares.
Exactly. Don't
you guys
forget
made
our
it
good
happen.
friend Eric Schultz that designed
Oh yeah,
the
well,
Fear
but, you know,
Chamber.
I worked with Eric and Mark and Robert Hall on
Three different
a teen
movies.
comedy that I directed called Killer Bad, and Eric is just a
Thanks to
genius,
Wayne
and
Rice.
he made
Yeah.
a sarcophagus, which you know is all I remember saying is, you know, let's depart from that great old classic William Hurt movie Altered States. Let's go to
Right.
the next level, and he made it. It just has a hint of a coffin to it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's sort of like, it's almost as if my controversial technique for treating phobias is like an isolation tank. Like I believe they're
Exactly.
called samadhi tanks. It's sort of like that, where you completely surrender to your phobia and you conquer it.
Yes.
But Aaron has built this thing for upcoming shows that is like as if the chamber itself within the clinic, as if this sarcophagus contains a residue from all the patients that have been cured. And
Right.
this residue of phobias, not
It's like an
necessarily
age-old-
evil or not necessarily nightmares, but this residue of this incredible psychological traumatic voyage that these patients have been through within this sort of suspended animation that they're in. It's as if that it's almost stained the interior of it, and that those molecules are beginning to form, perhaps.
And probably
A creature of its own
The ultimate
Do
design.
you have anything to
Phobia.
add to that?
I don't want to give away anything.
No, but I mean, it's just all these places we're going to go with this show.
Right.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
You know,
It's very exciting stuff.
I just can't get over it.
Really, really happy. But it also has stylized lighting.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an amazing looking little thing, and I urge, you know, fans of the genre and fans of psychological terror,
Right.
and fans of even the old traditional snake pit,
Right.
or cuckoo's nest,
Yes.
or girl interrupted, to also come to us, because there's elements of that too in our show.
We said Phobias meets Cuckoo's Nest. It's got a little bit of Flatliners, a little bit of Altered
Yeah.
States, and
Yeah.
a little bit of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Even a little bit of the old Olivia de Havilland. I know
It's
I'm
got a
talking.
great
I know I'm talking like an old man here, but you know the granddaddy of them all was Snake Pit with Olivia de Havilland. But you know that's where it all began. Where some people that you thought were crazy in the asylum aren't
Right.
really crazy.
Exactly.
You know.
We'll keep you guessing till the end.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, please turn into fearnet.com on October 26th.